everybody. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining me this lazy Saturday, mid-Saturday, mid-afternoon. What are we going to talk about? I'm not building anything right now. I'm just enjoying the end of my summer, early fall, like everybody else. Enjoying the last of the warm weather, and just that month I took off from work, I did nothing, man. That was fantastic. Anyways, I'm in the process now. I'm gonna share with you the beginnings of how do I pick the models that I'm going to build. How do I pick the trucks that I see on real life? Not just trucks, anything in on YouTube, wherever. That's the one I decide that I'm gonna do a prototype build on. Number one thing, you gotta have access, at least access through video, where you can take measurements, look at almost every detail you can, rivets, estimate lengths. Can you get those parts that your particular prototype has in 1/25th scale, or 1/48, or 1/25th, 1/35th, doesn't matter. All this stuff you have to take into account if you're going to do a prototype build, if you're going to build out of the box, so to speak. So I don't really need a build right now, but the brain is starting to work automatically beyond my control. I have no control over it. So let me just start the beginnings of sharing that with you. Maybe it'll just help you guys out in what you're trying to do on your model workbench. So just real quick, just so I can share with you, I've been busy and I got plenty to do. We're trying to get my truck to pass smog. It seems like every 2 years there's a latest gizmo and it won't pass smog. What California is trying to do is trying to get rid of everyone to get rid of their older vehicles, so they can scrap them and you can go out and buy a brand new electric vehicle at about $80,000 a pop, and they'll give you credit for about 2 or 3 grand, and then you're left with an electric vehicle. So definitely, the scanner is a must-have. And pretty much I got it solved. Just waiting for a couple little issues. Another thing I got to work on, just something as simple as my pocket knife took a dump on me. So we're going to fix that. We're going to put some brand new bolts on that. We're going to silver solder the ends on them so they don't come off ever again. Ever since me and my chick broke up here years ago, I'm going through many boxes that we had just in storage here in my storage space upstairs, and I came across a Lionel train set. I don't own any Lionel train sets, and I haven't owned one in many years. But if I remember correctly, one of her uncles or step uncles or something like that had an original Lionel train set, and I got the rest of it in a box here, and it had not run for many years, and he was dying to get it running so he could run it around the Christmas tree, especially since it's a family heirloom. And I told him, it got back to him that that's what I did. I sold, I repaired. It was a business of mine, still kind of is. And I said, sure, I'll get it running for you. So lo and behold, pretty much I can tell you what the problem was. And it looks like that transformer just kind of burst. So we got an exact transformer lined up to buy on eBay. We're going to test his unit out, make sure it runs correctly. Looks like it's got a very flimsy open frame motor. So these should be no issues. Just clean up everything, oil everything. We'll check out his tracks, his connections, his wiring. We'll box it up. We'll pack it up and box it up like $1 million. I'll get it back to my ex somehow, and then hopefully she could pass it along to him. So look at the plug on that thing. That's like old school. But we'll get him squared away. Just because I feel bad that this has been sitting in my closet for about 4 years. And I'm sure he's wondered about it and probably thought I probably sold it at the Mexican swap meets down here on the weekends, but that's not true. We'll get that to him. So, just to share with you guys, all of my builds, the first thing I do is I want to improve the tires, that come from the kit. I do not use the original tires on any of my kits. I feel they age the models. So I always go straight to Scenes Unlimited, and I put it in order of something that's very close to what I want to use. Bad news, Scenes Unlimited is no longer in business, but this time it's official. He, I guess due to his health reasons, he went ahead and sold the business to STS Supply Company. It's that model outfit up, I believe, in Canada. They sell a lot of truck parts on eBay. And I guess they got the molds and stuff. It'll take them a while for them to start selling the inventory again. That's usually just the nature of the business, no matter if you're model railroading or truck building. So until then, I'm going to be very, very limited on what I could build because I can't order any more Scenes Unlimited. Unless I spot somebody who has some on eBay or at a model swap meet. I do have a bunch of pairs of leftovers here, which is just enough for the projects I want to share with you that are going through my brain right now as we kind of speak. Let me put away the Lionel train set for a second. By the way, STS Supply Company up north, I get all their stuff through eBay. And I got another Detroit Diesel. This is Detroit Diesel. This is well, they always mark them wrong, but we'll cover that right now. This is a turbo version. And we'll get my pocket knife squared away here. There's always something to do. So when you set up your workbench and you start buying your tools and stuff and have your little corner or your whole workshop or half a workshop or half a garage or a bedroom or a spare bedroom or the back, whatever you decide to do, you're gonna set it up so you got plenty of elbow room, because you're not just gonna be working on models. You're gonna be working on your wife's toaster oven. You're gonna be working on smog issues with your truck, on and on and on. I put in my paperwork for retirement, early retirement at work. I'm going to take a big hit if I decide to go that route, but it's dependent on the health of my mom. So none of my future is in my hands at the moment. But every route I decide to go down, we're covered. The family's covered. Everything's fine. I will go from being working in local law enforcement agency out here in California to landlord. And, you know, waking up and going for walks and going have a cup of coffee every morning at the same restaurant and going to go play golf with my buddies. I'm going to go through that type of lifestyle. And so life's going to get pretty interesting, but the model building will stay with me probably forever. And not just the model building, repairing anything that comes down the track, literally. We're set up to fix anything and everything. And I could spend days and days in here just working on this stuff. But I don't recommend that for anybody, including myself. There's a whole world outside, a whole life outside. There's so many cool people out there to meet and hook up with and just have as friends and neighbors and co-workers, and just don't get it too involved in this thing here. This thing is just small part of who you are, but who you are is a hell of a lot more bigger and complicated than what you have here. Let me get off my soapbox and let's show you what I got. Now, the original plan was to do this dump truck right here. Now we've got we would have to do this build in 1/24 scale, but we're fine. We've got the cab. I can build up the sides of those dump beds right there, those paneled sides, using sheet brass. That's no big deal. It's like a corrugated steel side on the real thing. Alrighty, my problem with this build is the rims, the actual rims. Now, because it's got a trailer, we need even more rims. These are those special Peterbilt type rims. The ones that Peterbilt offered only on their trucks. So they've got these weird oval or triangle-ish type openings all the way around. There's no way to get them. I don't know if Scenes Unlimited ever offered them. I don't know if someone ever did a custom rum. So I gotta look into that and do my homework. I don't just want to use standard, Alcoa type rims, though that would be all right too. I kind of want to make it look as original as possible. This outfit here, this guy here and his rig and his outfit, they're local. So I have no problem contacting him, and I'm sure he'd let me come by and take pictures and measurements of his rig. So that's a huge plus on doing this build here. So basically, in order to get those rims, they're right there on this kit here. So this kit here would work. This is a 1/24 scale. You would put the dump bed and then you'd put the trailer. The only problem is I need 8 more of these, or at least the outsides, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4 more of these. So I have enough to do the tractor part of it and its trailer. The actual transfer bed in the back. Where do I get those rims? And Scenes Unlimited is out of business. Me personally, the way I build, that has limited me to what I'm going to be doing big rig build wise. So I did come across another kit. These are inexpensive. This is an Italeri kit also, and it's got the Peterbilt rims. So I'd open up this box just to tear at those rims, so I can use at least the 4 back ones on the transfer bed of that dump truck. And I would build the truck in 1/24 scale. Now this is the route I want to go. This is the build I want to do next. I would make the frame both on the transfer bed and on the tractor part of it out of metal. It'll be my entirely metal frame, built with my new techniques that I've been goofing around with. The sides of the dump bed will be made out of brass. These little cylinders, hydraulic cylinders to lift up the door and everything. That will be made out of how we did the Freightliner dump truck kit with actual working cylinders. We'll make my own dump bed door out of metal. The frame for the transfer bed back here will be made out of metal. Your cab, your filter, your tank and all that, well, that comes standard in the kits, both those kits, so it's no big deal. And the smokestacks, we make our own smokestacks too, out of polished aluminum. So we can do this. It's just, do I want to tear into this second kit? This is a brand new unopened kit, still wrapped, to go ahead and do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to goof around on eBay for a while to see if I can get an open, cheap version of this kit, or at least these tires and rims. It might take a week or two, or it might take 6 months. And I don't know if I want to wait 6 months and not build anything, if you know what I mean. So that's, plus I love the color, and I'm sure he got graffitied. So he went back there with a spray can and he touched up some areas here. So I just love that color combination of the different blue splotches and stuff. And his rig is just beautiful as can be. Beautiful as can be. Let me see if I can show you the beginning of this video. Well, anyways, that's a pretty neat video, and just watching it right now, it's kind of almost making up my mind for me that I might just dig into this box here, and just go ahead and start that build. But it's going to be a long build. It's going to be a complicated build since we're going to be making the frame out of metal and all the other parts like we always do. But that's part of the fun of it. Hopefully I can share some metalworking techniques or other modeling techniques with you guys. But I mean, the truck running around full blast and then slamming on the brakes and sliding around, doesn't that remind you of Tom Klein, Late for Dinner? Yeah, I kind of feeling Tom, good old Tom is doing great. He's got himself a good gig. I hope he makes a lot of money at it. And Tom Klein is invaluable to my YouTube channel. I could not have done anything, have gotten this far without Tom Klein and a lot of people's help on here. And I love to kid him. Hopefully that caught him off guard. And let's do a little bit more goofing off. Okay. Now, here's another one I'm contemplating, but this would be a build straight out of the box. I'm not sure if that's the Bill Signs Trucking. That's the heavy haul big rig by Revell at 1/25th scale. It's a big, impressive, heavy duty rig. That's another one I'm toying with. Don't have to worry about the tires there from Scenes Unlimited because the tires that Revell did for this particular kit are spot on. But there's another one that I'm bouncing around in my head. But that would be just a straight out of the box build. Now I love that Freightliner project we just finished doing here. About a month ago, the dump truck kit with the day cab. I love that thing so much that, let's see if I could do this. I came across this video here. Let me see if I can bring it up. Bear with me. Now, if I decide to do this build, I'm going to contact Matthew Jones, who owns this YouTube channel. I'm going to ask him if I could have permission to get some screenshots of his Freightliner. Let the commercial finish, and then we'll talk about it here. But we'll just sneak one in for right now. Hopefully Matthew doesn't mind and he understands what we're trying to do here. This thing is as cute can be. So how about that? Tell me that wasn't cute. That's just, my God, what a cute little rig. Now tell me that guy right there isn't adorable. And believe it or not, we have all the pieces to make Matthew Jones Freightliner out of in 1/25th scale. All right, so without giving too much away, Matthew Jones, I hope you don't mind. I used little bits of your video here, and I'm going to send you an email later asking you if I could use some more. The guys here are going to get a kick out of it, and this would probably be a year-long project where we're going to rebuild the Freightliner. I think you had it for sale. I'm not sure if you still have it or not, but I'm sure you'll get a kick out of it, and you're going to gain a lot of fans for your day cab Freightliner with a Detroit diesel 6-valve 92. So believe it or not, this is the fun part of the hobby. We wound up and found a 6-valve 92 turbo, which is what I believe Matthew's rig has. So we are covered in terms of the motor. The AMT factory rims that come with the AMT kit are fine for what we would be using here. But I don't want to use the AMT tires. I want to use Scenes Unlimited, but they're out of business. What do I do now? Well, believe it or not, I always order in bulk and order extras. I have enough of the correct tires to do Matthew Jones Daylight day cab Detroit diesel. And last but not least, you notice these he's got a neat setup here for his exhaust stacks, and that's no problem. We can build all that out of brass and metal and aluminum. He's got a rear mud guard here, well, a mud guard here behind the front tires, and another mud guard here on the rear. And what you notice that's kind of different would be those wheel fenders. Is that cool or what? Is that cool? Well, guess what? We got them. We got them right here. So if I wanted to sit down, oh, and one more thing, and this is probably the biggest one, the most obvious, is I fell in love with that AMT dump truck kit we just finished here about a month ago, all of us, because it was all of our project. That I was at Hobby Lobby the other day. I came across this guy here, 40% off. I just had to have it. I need Freightliners like I need a hole in the head. I've got tons of them. So if we wanted to do the Freightliner that's on the screen right there, that's pretty much a go. Also, but what I'm gonna lean to before I don't think I'll open this box here for a while. I may have bought it for nothing, at least right now. Do you remember our test mule? This video is gonna jump over to 2 parts. It's gonna cut off at about 28 minutes and automatically go to part 2. I'll just keep talking and keep the second part kind of short. But anyways, you guys remember my test mule when we worked on the AMT Freightliner dump truck kit? Well, if I build Matthew Jones' truck there, I'm going to go ahead and not put this aside and forget about her and abandon her and break her heart. This will become Matthew Jones' Daylight. We'll add the correct rivets. We hid the seam, we put new rivets on there. We're going to take all that stuff and redo it again, but that's part of the fun of the hobby. But what I did want to show you guys, why I brought this out, is I've always said on the Freightliner dump truck kit, that cab looks different because there's a lot of work done to it. Mainly what you want to do is you want to sand down. See this white part, white styrene? You want to sand down evenly because it's got a bump on it on the top part here and on the bottom. And how you can tell is this V is not created by me. As I sand it down like this, it was taking off the high spot of that bump, which is kind of like a big triangle or big diamond on the bottom. So I left that effect so you guys could see it on camera. It's pretty much done. You can see where you're starting to see through the styrene. So you can go behind and kind of put a piece of styrene back there so you don't poke a hole through there. And then we'll work on the front here. We'll make this part flat. And then we'll build that seam back in there and then lay our rivets. So this is how it looks out of the box. You could see this hump here, kind of like right here. See where the spray primer overspray did not get. And I did that on purpose. So right here is a big ass diamond shaped bump. So you can see it completely flat here, but we do it here, you're always gonna have that bump that lifts up and it comes back down. So just wanted you guys to see that's a lot of work, I know, and don't really have to go nuts like I do, but I just wanted to share that with you guys. Video should be cutting out about now and automatically go to part 2. We're not going to be too much longer on this subject here. What I'm going to do when we shut this video off, I'm going to work on my pocket knife. I'm going to work on the Lino train set here, get that going out of the shop here pretty soon. But there's 2. Also, the reason I don't jump on this dump truck real fast is the tires. I want to make sure the tires in the Italeri kits are all right for what I'm trying to do. Oh man, I'm really tempted on doing that one also. But neither one of these 2 projects could go forward where I share the build with you guys here on YouTube and let my mind, let the artistic part of your mind just take off. Take off. If you discover that you can make a part out of potato chips much better than anyone else, then go ahead and build it out of potato chips. It's your mind that's going to take you through these journeys of what you want to do. Yeah, we're going to build them, but there's going to be very little in terms of how we're building. We don't even follow the instruction sheet from the AMT kit. We just go ahead and try and build using the real prototype drawings and pictures and stuff like that. And as much metal as